So we're going to start off just really with the basics first. Is everybody in this room somewhat engaged with social? Show of hands. Wow. Everybody. Anybody completely new to it? Anybody completely new but doesn't want to admit it by raising their hand? That's okay. All right, so let's talk about it. And I think what we're going to end up doing is, instead of breaking down all the different social media vehicles, I would say that I'll ask the question of the panel, each one of you. Social media, where you began on social media, what was important at that point in terms of the vehicle? You hear a lot of things about Twitter. Trump's very popular on Twitter, obviously, helped him win the election. But that may not necessarily be the best for our business. So, Byron, from when you started on social, when did you start? What sites were you on, and how has that changed at all today?
Yeah, I really just started as soon as I got into real estate on the sales side 5 or 6 years ago, probably 6 years ago, I guess now, and started mostly on Facebook, just really hammering out Facebook, business page, personal page, and then started getting into Instagram, and now I'm just like really using everything. But for me, it's just all business, really. It's not I wasn't using it before real estate at all. I wasn't one of those people that were posting and engaging on like funny cat posts or anything like that. But then when I got into business, I'm like, what's my opening, right? Everybody knows, like, for me, when I started real estate, I was 27 years old, I think. So, the average age of the agents, right? It's 58, 60 years old. How are you going to break through that? How are you going to break through the noise? Certainly wasn't going to be newspaper ads for me. So I went into it right from day one and just kept hammering it out.
And so, Byron, today, Facebook is where you were focusing first, but are you on other sites, or where's your focus?
No, I think Instagram more today, but certainly Facebook is still the beast, and you have to respect it because of the ads platform, and you can tie your ads and make it easy from Facebook right into Instagram if you want. I'm using things like Snapchat, but very little percentage of the time compared to Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two beasts to be aware of.
Okay, content. Let's talk about post. There's a methodology, obviously, some strategy involved with it. Byron, what do you think of when you get up in the morning and you want to post something? What comes to mind? Is there a certain strategy in your mind, or what are you going for?
One, I think you should, if you have a thought of posting something, you should just do it and not hesitate, right? Because that's what happens even to me. Like, it's like, oh, should I post this? Should I not? And you're like, mind fucking yourself the whole time over this one little post. It's like, it's ridiculous. That's what it comes to. And so if you have that thought in the morning, get it out there. Like, just put it out there, and don't overthink it, right? Because like, once it's out there, you're going to have the opportunity to engage with the people that liked it or that commented on it, and you're going to be able to start a conversation. For me, the strategy, like, there's a lot of strategy in the sense of, like, there's certain things I want to post every single week. Like, we do podcasts, Nicole White's sitting somewhere in here that I work with, and we do a podcast every single week, The Real Word. Every single Tuesday, we want to get that up onto YouTube, onto Facebook, and then put the little short, 30-second, 20-second piece of that onto Instagram. So that's something that's very strategic. But there's going to be like, wake up at the gym, maybe an Instagram story, maybe whatever it is that I think is interesting, that I see in front of me, post it, share it with the world, and see what the reactions are, and just start conversations, because we're all looking for a certain amount of conversations in our day, and it's the easiest place to have conversations at scale. So.
Yeah, I think adding on that, it's really important to not lose your personality when you're posting on Facebook. Just
100%.
And you can plan posts of your listings, and you've got 30 listings in an entire month, and you've got an entire month for every day for that. But you still don't want to lose your personality. You want to post things about going to the gym and humanize yourself in front of your audience and make them see that you're just one of them as well.
Well, because if you lose your personality, you're going to blend in.
You're just a
right? Like our One in Company page is a lot of just listed, but we're mixing in a lot of community content, because if you just start blending in with like, I'm just doing my listings, there are thousands of agents doing that, right? And you're just going to look like the rest. So if your personality stands out and you're true to that, you will stick out.
So let me ask you, so having a personality come out online, it may be kind of hard for some folks, and especially you all have been doing it for so long that it's just evolved into that. Question I would have is, did you ever chart out on a piece of paper, like almost a business plan, the kind of brand that you're trying to build on this Instagram? So you want to see that you're energetic, so you go to the gym, so maybe you're going to put some posting about that. Have you ever thought about getting that detailed, or do you know people who have, or what would be your thoughts?
I mean, I've definitely thought about it at length. I would say the content that you naturally are consuming and are interested in, that's going to probably lend more to your personality, and you should probably do something similar to that. Dante's crushing it on his home tours. I'm not a home tour guy. Like, I don't even like showing properties, right? Which is why we've built out a team. Like, there are certain things I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I'm so much better in a podcast format and doing these short little videos where I'm like sitting behind a desk like this. So that's my style. I enjoy that. So that's my blueprint, and I want to do that over and over and over again. Where, you know, I mean, if I was as good looking as Dante, I would be doing the home tours, you know, but it's not my style.
So getting into stories, what do you go for in a story, Byron?
I mean, like what Kim's doing is for the brand is unbelievable, and that's something I think anybody in this room could certainly, maybe not to your, you know, level, but certainly duplicate, because we all have photos and we all have emojis on our phone and all that kind of stuff. I'm always going throughout like my day, like funny things that are happening in the office, or usually I'm looking for something that's happening at the moment, and I'm trying to capture that, because the story to me is the opportunity to showcase super raw, like, you know, behind the scenes look of what you're doing and who you are, and then just mixing in like the boom, I've got the open house, putting the location tag in the story, mixing in a hashtag. Like I just took a story and like shot all of you guys, and I tagged Dante, and I tagged the convention center here, because I know I'm going to pick up an extra, you know, certain amount of people that are going to see it just off of, you know, watching the Instagram story for the location that we're currently in. And so you want to play to whatever the algorithm is at the time. It's going to change. Facebook or Instagram stories rather the algorithm's going to change in 12 months or 24 months. They're not going to be, you know, as easy to hack as they are right now. But right now, when it's like everybody sees it come on the top of their screen, you want to keep hammering it out and do as many as you possibly can get out in a day. And I would say, if you're not already following what Kim's doing on the William Raveis Instagram, and just watch that story every single day, again, what she's doing, anybody can do, in the sense that we all have the photos of our listings. And I don't, how many of you guys have actually seen what I'm talking about, the William Raveis story? It's like some of us, right? So definitely follow along there. And you could take one house, right? And you could literally show the 3 shots of the kitchen, the 3 shots of the living room, and go back to back to back to back. What Kim's doing is super interesting. She's mixing all these little emojis. Maybe there's a tub, or she throws like somebody sitting in the tub, the little emoji, that kind of stuff, right? Like I've seen that happen. But you already have that content. So you can go through those 6 rooms, or those 2 rooms and 6 photos rather. And to see the rest of the house, I've got my link in my profile, right? So on your Instagram profile, you can put a link. So if you're pushing that particular property that day, that 24-hour window, make sure you change the link in your profile to the landing page of the listing, right? And another interesting thing, I know this is kind of off the stories, but another interesting thing, because we're on it, about your bio in Instagram, you can now put a hashtag. You can now put another handle. That just changed a couple weeks ago, I think, and link out if you have another handle, or if you want to link out to the William Raveis handle, you can certainly do that, where you couldn't do that before. And paying attention to the little changes and nuances is super important, because they're always changing what they're doing.
Explain how you go about gaining more followers. I mean, what is the key? How have you built it quickly? And what is your strategy moving forward?
So like for me on Instagram, it's been all organic, engaging with people, do something like this. You know, you'll find that like 10 people of the crowd actually go to @Byron Lazine, Lazine with a Z, and follow you. And you know, just talking to more people, right? And just being out there, but being aware of what's actually working in the current year or month that we're living in. So right now, stories, if you're consistent on stories, you'll organically, if you're just mixing in hashtags on your story and location tags on your story, you organically get 5 to 10 followers a day if you're putting up like 10 different, one story, but 10 different posts onto your story a day. It's just gonna happen because new people are gonna come across you. One of the towns that we work in on the shoreline, Guilford, for example, every time I use the Guilford, Connecticut location tag, I see that over 100 people in that specific town see my story through the Guilford location story. You go to Old Lyme, for example, different kind of community, I may pick up 1 or 2 extra people to see my location. So I'm gonna really wanna hammer the location tags in the towns that I'm seeing people are following along. Guilford just has obviously more people, but more people on Instagram. So I wanna be aware of that, test it, look at those back-end analytics that Instagram's giving you for free when you put an Instagram story up. And what do? You're on your story and you just swipe up, right? You just swipe up, you can see your analytics and what's working, what's not. Keep testing and throwing stuff out there every single day.
Let's talk about likes. What's the purpose of likes? How often do you use them? And what do they essentially do for you?
I have no idea. Like, I don't think there's really any benefit. I think it's
liking, you're engaging with other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's,
I'm bigger on the comments. Like, if you want to engage with somebody, you're going to throw them a heart, cool. If you're going to throw them a heart in the DM, which is a direct message, right? Like, if I'm going to throw you a heart on or a like on your Facebook post or your Instagram post, and it's mixed in with like 30 people, like, you're not going to really know that. But if I DM you, like, that was really cool, heart, right, or whatever, that's the engagement I'm looking for, the actual one-on-one or comment engagement.
yeah, and you comment on someone's post, they reply back to you, you start a conversation with them.
Yeah, and your likes, you really, and then other people can see that you like the post. When you look, you find your followers, you can see what they liked, and then maybe you'll like it, and then, they'll like it. Again, it's just consistently engaging in content.
Or the reverse, the data of like somebody, somebody likes your post, now, right? Like, it's almost like, how many of you guys use BombBomb? So when someone opens the BombBomb, and then you want to jump right back and call them. Somebody likes your post within the last 30 seconds, you have their attention right now. It's a perfect opportunity to jump into their DM. Hey,
DM
thinking
is
about
direct
you.
message.
Direct message, which would be the top right, the little, I don't know what that is,
Arrow.
little arrow thing? Paper arrow?
Temporary.
And DM them and start a conversation, because we're all looking for conversations, and all social media is an opportunity to talk to that person you're trying to get to.
And Facebook and Instagram are rewarding people like these guys for, engaging with their audience. The algorithms that are introduced to Facebook and Instagram, I can't explain them to you, but you're getting rewarded for engaging with your audience and engaging with just random people on social channels.
Absolutely. How many of you guys are on either a Tom Ferry private page or a Labcode agents or any of these types of things that are out there? You don't even ever have to produce, what we've been talking about the whole time is producing content or coming up with content for Instagram and Facebook. You could never do content and pick up 6 referrals a year by being a voice in those communities. So we'll use Labcode agents, for example. I think there's 70,000 agents across the country that are engaging with these posts. If you would ask a question on Labcode agents, and it's a thoughtful question, you're gonna get over 100 comments, which means you have 100 people to reply back to that are agents all across the country. And what happens on these platforms, for those of you that are following, is when somebody has a referral, somebody's moving out of their town, and they don't know somebody that works in Naples, Florida, they're gonna go on Labcode, they're gonna go on the Tom Ferry private page, and they're gonna say, who works in Naples, Florida? And if you've created enough friends online, you don't even have to track it. Like, if you have enough friends across the country, it just happened to me 3 days ago, the North Branford one, where an agent, and he was calling me. He lives in Miami. He's like, dude, there's somebody right now looking for a North Branford, Connecticut agent. Do you work that market? Because he doesn't remember. He knows I'm in Connecticut. Yes, I connected with that agent within 5 minutes, and the other 20 agents that were being commented, oh, this person, that person, didn't get it. Because Sean, who's from Miami, somebody I'm in a lot of private groups with, and I spend a lot of time engaging on his posts, went to bat for me. He was like, this is the guy and the only guy. He went as far as calling that agent. So these private groups are super effective, and you don't have to produce any content. All you have to do is talk to people, and it's the agents, and you're gonna get the referrals when you create relationships. But this is all work. This is all, like, everything we're talking about is time, which is work. I mean, it's thumb work, it's easy work, we've got it made, but it's work.
The time spent on Instagram or Facebook or social media, how much time do you spend on a given day, the three panelists?
Yeah, I mean, certainly changes. I would say at least an average of at least an hour a day or more. I think that as you're building up, you're gonna find yourself like spending a lot of time because you have to do a lot of testing. You have to be very conversational. So you're gonna be talking to people all the time on these platforms. If you're really like wanting to build relationships in the referral thing or relationships with clients, it's gonna take a lot of conversations, a lot of DMs, a lot of comments, and it does take a lot of time, but to me, it's a much more effective use of your time than, you know, standing by a septic tank getting pumped, right? Like outsource that. Or, you know, like any of these things. What were we talking about before? Like editing a video. You need to find someone that can edit a video. Like, you need to know your strengths. You're in a sales position to talk to people. Spend all of your time doing that and forget about everything else. So that it's the easiest platform to do it on, social media.
You mean spend your time networking and spend
Networking.
your money on things like creating videos with professional companies.
Right.
Right.
Hire it in-house, like Sam's here doing a video right now for us, like, or outsource it, or I don't know any of the little apps. There's a bunch of little apps. If you've got to like do it yourself, do it, get it done, but make it super quick, which means don't overthink it. Don't worry about how your hair looks like. People know what you look like and all this kind of stuff, right? So just get it out there as much as you can. And I fall in the trap all the time where I find myself overthinking things. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, just get it out there. Like, people are gonna flip by it in 3 seconds anyway, right? I need to do more and more and more so I can grab the attention.
There's so many productivity books out there that say, get rid of social media. For anybody, and we've all done this, how many times have you been just flipping through your social media pages and you find out that you've been there for 45 minutes and you really don't know exactly what you've done in the last 45 minutes? You know, are there pitfalls? I mean, what would you warn people?
People are going to continuously get warned, and you see like what's happening. We were talking about with Matt, I think, before about Facebook, like the bad news of Facebook the last couple weeks. Like, for how many years have people said, oh, you shouldn't eat cheeseburgers and drink beer, and everybody did it last night. So like, nobody's getting off of social media. Like, nobody's gonna actually do it. They're not disciplined enough, which means you need to be there producing content or engaging and having conversations with them. I don't care what the books say, they're not getting off of this stuff until something better to kill their time comes along. Just, it's proven over time.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are always going to be on it. And again, the easiest thing is we have the content. You know, Raveis has the content. You as an agent have the content. And that's the toughest part typically is having the content. We have it, so use it and get it out there and use it as a tool. It's just time.
Like, even if you're a new agent, like if I was a new agent in Naples, I'd be like, hey Dante, do you mind if I know you just posted that beautiful picture of that house. Do you mind if I use the kitchen? I'll tag you back, like, right? Use other people's stuff if you have 0 listings.
Yeah, like on reposting.
Because you would say yes to that.
Yeah, I mean, on reposting, what we do, I have 8 team members that work with me, and again, I repost their listings, they repost my listings, and again, it just then it grows organically, and it's the web. That's what happens.
We've got just a short amount of time. If there's some real burning questions in the audience, we've got about 5 minutes for that. first hand up.
How do you guys feel about paying to boost? And if you don't mind saying, if you do use it, what is your kind of annual spend?
I would say yes as much as you can.
I'd say yes as well. I mean, again, I think it depends on the listing and depends on the amount. I mean, I just posted a $8 million listing that I have in, Naples. It's a new construction product. I spent I think I posted and pushed it for like $250. It just depends on. Now I got 8,000 views on it already, and I have 45 comments, and I've gotten probably 20 direct messages from other agents around the country that go, oh my God, that's great. I might have a customer for it. So again, it just depends. If you have a lower level listing, I mean, $20 can get you in front of 1,000 people or 2,000 people. So it's not.
And that data that you just went over is a great thing to share with that seller. Like, hey, you don't have to tell them the number, $250, but when I put an ad spend on this, we got 8,000 more people to see it. Because if you have a 6-month contract that doesn't sell, you need to always be selling yourself during those 6 months. That's an easy way to do it.
And I consistently do that where I can say, hey, look, we put you out on, send the statistics. I got you in front of 45,000 people, on this. Got you in front of this, and no one else can do that in our area. Stuff like that really, really helps.
And the ad works through William Raveis is doing that. You always get the emails if you put the proper in Lux and it says like, you were on CNN today, 16,200 people, impressions, whatever. Like you press forward, you delete the stuff in the top, and you just forward the email. So the subject line says you were on CNN, and it looks like it was coming from you. You look at the rock star, it takes you 2 seconds.
Another question in the back.
Yes, for Byron, actually. I actually caught your Nicole's video online recently, and I was excited to see that you were with Mohegan because I didn't know that. But I was thinking like, oh, this would be so cool for my teammates and I to do to get together and talk about what happened over the week or so. I haven't watched all of it, but what does it really take? The equipment, the time, the
Yep.
preparation, anything on however often that you guys do it.
Sam, what's the equipment? What do we use?
If you haven't seen it, they're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, by the way. What are we using? A Canon?
Yeah.
That camera right there.
Yeah.
It's a Canon something. And literally every single Monday at 11 o'clock, we have it blocked off. And that's the best way to do it. Like, no excuses. Nicole will tell you, no excuses. 11 o'clock, we're doing the real world. It's going to be 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of our day, whatever it's going to be. We're going to sit down. The camera's going to be set up. We're going to talk. It's going to get edited, and it's going to go up on Tuesday. And it's just in the schedule, never changes. Now, you don't have to have that Canon camera, and you don't have to have Sam, but you do need to be consistent and just set up your phone and say, I'm going to do this every single Monday at 8 a.m., every single Monday, at whatever your time is, and just set up the phone and go and start there. And then when you want to buy the camera or do whatever, you do it.
Ring light, you love with your ring light.
Is what?
Your ring light.
Oh, we have the light too. You have the light. I forgot about the light.
How long do you prepare ahead of time with your content?
About 10 minutes before. Yeah. What we like. Yeah, exactly. The Real Word show that you're referring to, we're basically curating information in the real estate industry that's already out there. And then we're just giving our opinions on top of it. So it's super easy. What did you see this week? Did you save anything in your phone that was interesting, maybe on an Inman, wherever? And we just talk on top of it. Our 2 cents, right? What's our opinion?
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for this expert day.
Thank you, guys.